Hey, welcome to the Push-Pull Sales and Marketing Podcast. I'm Marcella.
And I'm Sherry. And each episode will provide you with sales and marketing strategies that you can implement immediately into your own business. Our sponsor for this episode is Pipeliner, and today we're going to be talking about appointment setting.
Now, one thing in terms of sales, and that's why it's very timely to bring a Pipeliner on board, most of your effort when it comes to sales, it's about 75%, is getting that initial appointment. If you have a good product or a good service, or if you have a good analysis, most of the effort is going to be made on getting that initial appointment. So you need to really stay organized. You need to be able to follow up, and you need to be able to keep track of everything that you're actually doing. So that's why we highly recommend Pipeliner. It's a great CRM. It's great for small to mid-sized businesses on the larger market.
Client relationship management.
Yes.
System. In case you're not familiar, which you guys probably all are. And you can check it out if you go to pushpullsales.com/pipeliner. You'll be able to get a free trial from there for you guys. But like you were saying, I mean, setting that initial appointment, and you don't want to just be taking shots in the dark. You want to be keeping track of what you've done, what I'm assuming, what emails you've sent, what phone calls you've made, when you made them, if it worked, if it didn't, what you talked about. I mean, you can go as in depth as you want. And yes, you can just, scratch that down, scribble it on a piece of notepad, but having the CRM is very beneficial.
Absolutely. It helps you slice and dice the information, helps you find where you should be calling next. And even if you're in business for yourself, or even if your company doesn't provide it, the other reason why we recommend Pipeliner, it's very affordable if you just want to start off on your own, or if you have teams. So in previous podcasts, we got a couple tweets, a couple emails. A lot of times people are looking for more role-playing scenarios. So we're going to try to hit on that a little bit more today, because this is very, very common in terms of setting appointments. The objections that you're going to run into, and resistance, or the actual strategy, it is fairly universal. So one of the first things to realize when it comes to setting these appointments is that it is going to take most likely multiple hits to actually get a hold of the right person. So to
get a hold of the right person. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were saying to get the appointment. I was going to ask how many calls, emails, touches does it typically take? Or is that really vary? It's getting a hold of the right person that's key.
From my own personal experience, in terms of getting an initial appointment, I would probably say 70% of the time, if I can talk to them on the phone, I will go ahead and get that appointment. And 30% of the time, I'm going to have to try again and follow up. And the reason being for that is because I've practiced a lot, and I kind of know when something's a brush off, and when you have a legitimate time crunch, or you might have some sort of issue getting in the way between getting that initial appointment. So again, it's going to take a lot of attempts, most likely, to get a hold of the right person. Another thing is, you don't necessarily need to have the right person. There might be multiple decision makers in place. So, for example, for my company, P&G Logistics, what we do, we help out with shipping, freight, in, out, customs clearance, and we also do imports and exports, so domestic and international. So the person that actually handles the domestic side of the business might not handle the international side, and vice versa. So what I like to do, and this is highly recommended if you're in any sort of selling capacity, is to start as high as possible. So you want to go to the CEO first, you want to go to the CFO, you want to go to the business owner, and then...
Which I feel like a lot of people don't do that. Either you're afraid to do that. You feel like you need to work your way up. You feel like it's going to be disrespectful. You feel like you're going to get brushed off immediately. You found that's not the case?
No, I definitely find that. I can tell you that.
Because the secretary's probably a lot busier and receives a lot more phone calls than the CEO.
The secretary, yeah, I mean they are very good at blocking you. Easier people to get a hold of. Purchasing people are very easy to get a hold of. Harder people to get at controllers. Small business owners are easier to get a hold of than an actual controller or an actual accountant in that same company.
And obviously, we're talking about getting a hold of people in a B2B environment.
Yes, for the most part, but I do want to cover some scenarios where you might be trying to get a more of a retail transaction, or maybe trying to sell insurance or direct to consumer or a car or something like that. Because a lot of people listening on the podcast are also in auto sales, are also in insurance sales.
Mm-hmm. You had a guy connected to you on Periscope that sold jewelry and had been struggling with that. And even in those retail scenarios, a lot of this stuff can apply. Maybe not, the CEO stuff, not really, but a lot of what we'll cover as far as role playing is just good information to have on the phone when you're contacting someone that you don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
Overcoming those objections.
We always give lots of really good information. And one thing, and I've talked about him in the past, he got popular with the movie Wolf of Wall Street, and probably I bet there's a whole resurgence of his sales strategies and techniques. Is that guy Jordan Belfort? Mm-hmm. Basically talks about tonality, talks about coming across on the phone and building rapport right away, and how you can establish things within the first few seconds. So one thing, and I've done a lot in terms of the podcast. So if you listen to previous podcasts versus then you listen to ones now, I sound a lot more upbeat. I sound a lot better and a lot more natural. There's sometimes where I might have been a little bit tired and a little bit laggy because podcast is not what I do full time. But
right.
Presenting,
it's what we do at 9:23 p.m. when the next thing we're doing is brushing our teeth and going to bed.
Absolutely. But yeah, so you want to be very enthusiastic. The whole deadpan woe is me, it doesn't really work. But one thing, and I almost forgot, and this actually happened to me too when I was selling, especially working for I was working for a payroll company, and I didn't have that much experience because basically when I came from sales, I did a direct to consumer sales, and then from there I was selling again mainly to individuals. I did sell to some businesses, but I didn't have a lot of experience actually calling on businesses. So then I switched to a 100% inside sales role. I was only calling on businesses, and my perception of the owner and everyone, they're really busy and all that stuff, it definitely blocked me from being as successful as I actually could have been. Mm-hmm. Now, being in a business, and I'm very fortunate that the company that I work for, I can be in a couple different departments. I have access to the owner of the company. And that's one thing that I like to instill into my salespeople and be like, look, when you talk to the president of my company, he's in case he listens to this, he's a normal dude for the most part, all right? He's just like you and me. When you talk to him, that's how you want to have conversations with people on the phone when you're cold calling them. You don't want to put people on a pedestal and say, oh my God, it's like I'm talking to the Pope and stuff like that. And the new Pope now, he's very, very approachable. So you want to come into that where most people are very, very approachable, and you want to expect the best possible outcome. So transitioning, the whole point of appointment setting is just that. You have a goal in mind. You want to set the appointment. You don't want to sell the product or service. You don't want to do necessarily a whole long needs analysis. You just want to get the appointment. So let's go ahead and role play a couple different scenarios. I'll let let's see here. We have a couple ones written down. So we're gonna do an easy one that is the best case option. Let's say I'm selling.
What do you want to sell?
We wrote down a couple different things. Payroll services. We're gonna go with that. So we're gonna go with the best case option, and then we're gonna tone it down or I guess
crank it up and make it more difficult.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a lot more difficult.
So what's the first one?
I'm going to sell payroll services. Let's say...
What's my objection?
Oh, you're not going to have an objection. You're just going to set the appointment.
Oh, so I go along and I'm happy to talk to you?
Yeah, and then we're
That
gonna make
is
it harder
best
and
case
harder.
scenario.
Yeah, we're gonna go best case scenario.
All right.
Hey, Sherry, how's it going?
Good. How are you today?
Good. Hey, Sherry. Real quick, the reason for my call is I spoke with your president, Joe, and he told me that you actually handle the payroll for the company, and that you actually review the different payroll providers, and I think you have something coming up in the next couple months for an actual renewal here. And I'm calling from XYZ Payroll Services. And real quick, I wanted to set up an appointment and kind of see what you're doing now and see if I can possibly bid on your business in the next couple months here.
Yeah, we are up for renewal in about 2 months, so I am in the process of reviewing a couple different people. I would be interested in hearing more and adding you to the list of people that we're gonna.
Okay, great. In terms of your schedule, how does Thursday look at 10 o'clock?
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. Well, what I'm going to do then, I have you penciled in for 10 o'clock, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot you a friendly reminder the day before in case anything comes up. It'll have all my information and all that good stuff. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and get your email right now. What is your email address?
It's ...
Perfect. All right, great. So like I said, I'll see you Thursday at 10 o'clock. I'm going to shoot you a quick email reminder the day before in case anything comes up.
Sounds good.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Okay. So some things in terms of that best case scenario, I spoke with someone higher up. So I spoke with the president of the company, and I basically said, this person told me to talk to you. This can work in almost any capacity, even if you're calling wide. So I can talk to the janitor and say, hey, I spoke with your janitor, and your janitor told me to talk to you about payroll services. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Matters a little bit.
If the
president told you to talk to me, that means I have to listen to what you have to say.
But I have a reasonable excuse to call, so
that's what I mean. It holds a little more weight with the president,
obviously.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And sometimes it can actually work against you too, because some people do not like being told what to do, and I've ran into that as well. Say, hey, I spoke with this company, and they suggest I reach out to you, and this is, and I can go into a whole long thing, but we have a short time on the podcast here. In terms of just one key thing that I actually inserted in there, and this is something I have actually let salespeople go because they didn't buy into the whole philosophy of actually confirming the appointment. So I had a person that all he did basically 50% of his time we had tried basically calling, doing the whole process inside sales for smaller businesses, and 50% of his time we let him try just setting appointments for me, because that's what that person did years ago. And it didn't work out because the person didn't want to confirm the appointment. Says, well, when you give a person an opportunity to cancel. Well, then I didn't really do a good job explaining what I actually do, and that appointment was going to blow out anyway.
Right.
So I would much rather find out on Wednesday than Thursday at 10 o'clock when I've driven and wasted all gas and all that stuff moved around my schedule. So
the other thing, too, is you didn't say, when are you available? You just said Thursday at 10 work?
Exactly. You want to throw out a date and time. And one thing that you want to do as a salesperson, we talk about shortening the sales cycle. We did another podcast on that. You want to pick a date that is as soon as possible. If you pick something out 2-3 weeks, that does give time for things to get in the way. If you can at least get it while it's top of mind, you're going to have a lot more success. And sometimes you need to push for something close, knowing, like, basically, I'm going to aim for something tomorrow, knowing that tomorrow's not going to work, but 3 days from now will, versus if I say a month from now, you might be like, oh, a month from now. I was actually thinking 2 months from now. So you can kind of shorten it just by picking a date and time that's actually closer. So for all intents and purposes, I'm assuming that we were calling on a Monday.
Right. The other thing is you gave a reason to capture her email address, and you gave a reason to, I say her, and you gave her the context of it. You said, I will give you all of my information then. I will confirm with you the day before. You kind of gave context for that instead of being like, oh, hey, can I have your info in case anything comes up? Like, it was just like, I'm in charge of this conversation. Here's what I need. And I mean, it took a minute?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, a lot of times you can book appointments very, very, very quickly. And again, we're talking best case scenario here.
Obviously.
But in terms of the phone, it's one of the most effective ways to go ahead and get an appointment with someone versus just cold calling. And when I say cold calling, I mean canvassing. When you're actually knocking on doors. So one thing. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Were you going to get into tougher stuff, or do you have something?
Well, we can get into the tougher stuff after the break.
Okay. So we just wanted to touch on our new sponsor again for this episode, and do you have a little bit more to tell them about this specific sponsor, which, like we said, if you go to pushpullsales.com/pipeliner, you'll be able to click through our affiliate link there. The affiliate link helps us out because we get a small portion of, anything that goes through on that end, and we are offering a 30-day free trial. Is it 30-day?
I believe so.
To you guys, they were willing to work with us and give you guys a free trial to try out the CRM and see what you think.
And it doesn't affect your price at all.
Right.
But one thing in terms of utilizing that, so I mentioned I'm going to follow up on Wednesday. One thing with really good salespeople, their organizational skills and their attention to detail is typically low because they're very, very gregarious, they're very, very big picture. Their personality is normally like that. A CRM is going to help you stay organized. It's going to make this follow-up process a lot easier. So you can have email templates. You can have certain customers, certain verticals that you're working on. You'll be able to search then, okay, I have an appointment Thursday at 10. I need to get 4 or 5 appointments also in that area. You can search in that area and find
who talk to and
who exactly. So it's going to make your life a lot easier. It's going to save a lot more time, so you can spend less time researching and finding customers and doing that, and more time selling and more time setting appointments.
Yeah, and you're also going to be, if you're tracking along the way, it's actually better for the client too. You're able to meet them where they're at. You don't want to be giving them, sending out the same email or marketing material, on the marketing side of things, to somebody that you called once for 1 minute, as opposed to someone that you've been having a conversation with for months. You're going to be sending them different things. You're going to be meeting them where they're at in the process and catering your message to that. And a CRM is going to allow you to know that information. Mm-hmm. Because hopefully you have enough clients that you can't keep it all in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to use your brain to be more creative, think of different ways to kind of get in front of customers, different ways to get clients' attention, different ways to close clients. So some unique presenting stuff and some different ways to kind of get the appointment or get someone's attention we can talk about. But again, we're just going to talk about a very, very low tech approach: phone and email. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and kind of kick up the difficulty a little bit. So we can go ahead and try to do perhaps insurance. And no one really likes to talk to the insurance person.
So do you feel like a lot of times you get like postponement there? Do you get a lot of like, we're already using something, or?
Yeah, we can go into that one. You're going to hear that one a lot. You're going to hear, we're all set, mm-hmm. or we're not interested. So we can go ahead and do that. And just for fun, why don't we go ahead and change the product? So instead of payroll services,
you said insurance.
Okay, we're going to do insurance. So let's go ahead and talk about commercial insurance. So
B2B.
Yeah, we're going to go B2B, and then we can go individual too. We can cover that. All right. So
I'm all set.
You're all set.
All right.
All right. Hey, I was looking for Mary.
Yes, this is her. May I ask who's calling?
Hey, Mary, this is Joe. I'm calling from ABC Financial. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Hey, real quick, the reason for the call is I have a couple other customers in the area. I've actually helped them out with their workers' compensation policy. I have a couple unique ideas. I might be able to help you out as well. And I'll be down in your area next Thursday. Just wanted to see if you had some time, maybe around like 10 o'clock, 10:30.
No, actually, we're all set in regards to that.
Okay. And when you say you're all set, have you gone through an actual renewal process, or what exactly do you mean?
Yes, we have things in place.
Okay. And that's actually the exact reason why I'm calling. A lot of my customers already have something in place. They haven't really looked at options in a while. So I wanted to meet with you, kind of see exactly what you're doing and seeing if some of the options I have might actually work for you.
Should I say yes at this point?
Well, you tell me.
You convince me.
You could tell me. It might take a couple different. It might
Right.
take a couple different attempts. Another way,
Right. Like, what would I feel like I would come back with? What are you offering that would be different from what we're currently using?
Great. And now you're asking questions. You didn't hang up on me, so I still have a good opportunity. Well, in terms of that, I have a couple things that I would like to show you. I'm kind of old fashioned like you. I like to talk face to face. How about we go ahead and set something up at 10 o'clock next Thursday, and then I can go from there.
Oh, do you want me to keep going? I would say, well, what would we be covering in the meeting? What's going to be the purpose of the meeting?
Okay. Well, for my company, I represent a couple different lines that some of my competitors aren't currently representing. There's a couple new products out there, and I think for a financial firm like yours, it might actually fit you fairly well, and I wanted to talk with you about that a couple minutes. I can send you an email with some basic information, and I'm sure you'll have some questions. So like I said, I think it would make more sense to kind of cover this face-to-face than rather over the phone. Is that fair enough?
That works. I can give you a couple minutes.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, and then get the email. Same process. I'm going to send you a friendly reminder. I'm very confident in what I'm doing. One thing, and you might get this with a gatekeeper, you might get this with a little bit more resistance. Someone might say, okay, and what is this call in reference to? A lot of salespeople freeze. They go, what do I say? You should know exactly what you're going to say. You shouldn't be ashamed to say, hey, I'm with ABC Financial. Mm-hmm. Okay, we help clients with this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a very, very basic premise there. If you're confident in what you're doing and you just say that, it's not going to be as bad as if you pause and it's unnatural. Mm-hmm. So one thing, I did insert that when she said she's all set. I want to bounce that back to her. So I want to pause a little bit. I want to basically, it's kind of like if you've ever watched Friends when Joey talks about smell the fart acting. It's almost like that. I want to kind of make that face like, what do you...
Like, why aren't you just saying yes?
Or more like, I don't really understand what you mean you're all set. Like when someone says they're all set, I don't really understand that. Right. And then when someone says they're all set...
As soon as someone pauses and there's any blank airtime, it makes you go back and rethink what you just said.
Exactly. It's
like a replay button.
And with something like workers' comp, it's a little bit easier because people have to have it. It's right. You have that required by law. Right. So when people say we're all set, it can mean a lot of different things. So we can do the same exact thing. I'm just going to pick a different. We're going to go individual. How about we go individual insurance? Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to use a different objection to get over. Well, we're all set.
We're all set, or like I kind of like a preference kind of thing. Like I like who we're using now. I trust them. I feel like you get that with insurance or like direct to consumer a lot. Where like. Well, if there were actually better plans, he would tell me.
Sure. I'm sure he would. No, he wouldn't. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to be calling from, let's just go ahead with Joe's Insurance Services, or Joe's, you say Joe's Financial. Sure, why not?
Sure.
All right. You want to still be a lady? You want to pretend to be a guy this time? I'm just kidding. We're gonna go ahead with Sue. Hey, I was looking for Sue Jones.
This is her. May I ask who's calling?
Hey, Sue. This is Joe. I'm calling from Joe's Financial. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, real quick. The reason for the call here. I spoke with your friend Mary, and she suggested that I actually reach out to you. I recently helped her out getting her set up with life insurance for her and her husband. And she suggested that I actually reach out to you and possibly set up a meeting.
Oh, that's all right. We already used someone that we're happy with.
Great, and that's actually the reason for my call. Some of my best clients have been exactly like you. They've been with someone for a very, very long time, and they weren't necessarily looking. However, that being said, I do have some unique products, or I do have. I wouldn't say product. I would say I do have some unique solutions. I might be able to offer you that your current broker with his company or your current advisor can't do, and I might be able to supplement what he's doing or I might be able to actually replace it and save you some money. I'm not really sure, and that's why I was reaching out.
I don't know. I feel like there are better solutions out there. He would have already brought them to us.
You know, I've been doing this. I've been doing this a long time, and you are right. There, he is looking out for your best interest, correct?
I would hope so.
Great. And a lot of my clients felt the exact same way, but after looking at my company and what we have, they actually found that we have some unique solutions that their current provider doesn't have, and I might even be able to work with him. I might be able, like I said, to supplement what he has in place, but without knowing your actual specific scenario and what you really need. I'm not really looking to set up anything for you right now. I just want to find out exactly what you're doing and to see if maybe down the road it would make sense.
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Great. So one thing that we actually did in that, and we talked about this in a previous podcast, if you hear that I'm not interested, I have another guy, I'm all set, you can basically say, great, that's exactly why I'm calling. Some of my best customers are like you because they are fiercely loyal. I like that. Another way to overcome that, if we just did the exact same scenario, actually, no, let's go ahead and we could do a business-to-business scenario. So let's say software. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're gonna say I'm not interested.
You're selling a CRM.
I'm selling a CRM. Great. Yeah, we might as well just say our sponsor.
You're selling Pipeliner.
We're selling Pipeliner. Hey, this is Nick. I'm calling.
Wait, what's my objection?
You're not interested.
We already have a CRM.
I don't know yet. You can
or
you can roll. You can pick.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hey, this is Nick. I'm calling from Pipeliner. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, real quick, the reason for the call here is I work for a company, Pipeliner, and what we do is we have a nice solution that's actually worked with a lot of other small businesses in your area, helping their salespeople set more appointments in a shorter amount of time, helping them stay organized and making your salespeople better at follow-up. And I wanted to set up a time, maybe this Thursday, and kind of show you show you a little bit about what we have in place and how I might be able to help you out.
No, we're not really. We don't have the budget for something like that at this point.
You know, and that's I bet you get calls from people like me all the time. I get calls like that all the time for my company. Again, people are trying to sell me different services and people are trying to reach out. And we do have set budgets in place, but every once in a while, I hear a salesperson and he's got a great product or service, and as much as my marketing people hate me, we do go ahead and we do go over that budget. I'm not saying that you need to go over your budget now or to see if that even makes sense. I just want to basically show you what we have in place, see if it might be something for your business, and whenever the time is right, you can go ahead and pull the trigger on that.
Sure.
Okay. Another way that you can actually get over that too is say you talk about not having a budget, so I can isolate that and say, okay, so
I thought you were going to take the route of like, we can save you money elsewhere so that it pays for itself.
Exactly. You can do that too and say, well, you know, actually for my product, you know, if you have a couple minutes I can show you, it actually doesn't cost you anything. Mm-hmm. And now I have your interest. You can use it. Again, I want to role play a couple different scenarios where you can actually do that. So I can say,
right.
well, I can actually show you how my product doesn't really cost you anything. Right. Okay, we'll say, okay, well, what exactly do you mean? Well, if you have a couple minutes next Thursday, I can show you. And we're just going to go, and I'm just setting the appointment. I just want to just kind of get your interest. But in terms of what I wanted to do there is, and this works with a lot of different objections, so say, oh, look, I'm not interested, I'm really busy, stuff like that. You want to basically move to their side of the table and say, look, I get calls from salespeople all the time, just like that.
Right.
You know, my company's just like yours. We
well,
have a budget.
And I feel like in B2B, that's a huge resource that not a lot of people are tapping into. You work for a company, I work for a company, salespeople call all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, you have that common ground, and I don't think that's leveraged often enough.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you actually threw out the budget right away. I didn't even talk about money or anything like that.
Right. I feel like a lot of times that wall goes up immediately. You know, I'm calling from blah, blah, blah about a product, and you say, you know, no money for you. Mm-hmm.
So another way that you can overcome that too. So we have that same. Let's go ahead and have that same exact interaction, and I'll overcome that in a different way. And one thing when you practice,
you want me to say no budget?
Yeah, let's go ahead and we're gonna go with no budget. Okay. So okay. Hey, my name's Nick. I'm calling from Pipeline. How you doing today, Mary?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. I'm good, Mary. Hey, reason for the call, I was looking over on your website here. I see you're in the construction supply business. I've actually had a lot of success with other construction supply companies, helping their salespeople be more organized, helping them find better prospects, and also helping them close deals faster. And I have a unique CRM I wanted to share with you. And wanted to see if maybe next Thursday you'd be able to, I can't talk today, to see if maybe next Thursday if you had some time in the afternoon.
No, we don't really have that in the budget right now, so I don't feel like that we need to spend time learning more about it for something that we're not going to be paying for.
I gotcha. So when you say you don't have a budget, have you looked at other softwares in the past or other CRMs in the past, or?
I just know that we're maxed out at this point.
Okay, I got you. So in terms of the actual funds for the company, you're kind of saying that money's tight, and the most important thing for you right now is you just want to save as much money as possible, right?
Correct.
Great. Then I'm very, very glad that I was able to catch you, and I'm glad I was able to catch you on the phone. In terms of what we can do for you, it's going to help increase the revenue in your company very, very quickly. Our solution, I can tell you it's not going to cost you anything. You're going to have an immediate ROI within the first 15 days. So I do want to set up a time to talk with you. How about we go ahead and shoot for Wednesday at 1 o'clock?
Deal.
Okay. So again, I want to establish too, maybe she's looked at that and maybe in her head it's a lot of money. And sometimes people say too, well, we're not really interested in that. I mean, I've had people pitch things to me that now I won't even consider unless the salesperson is really good. So for example, in another podcast, we talked about keeping things simple. As soon as I hear omni-channel, multi-platform, sales automation, stuff like that, I don't even know what it means. I just know that at the end of this conversation, they're going to want $6,000 to $10,000 for a basic email marketing thing or some kind of follow-up or something that's very complicated. But the fact of the matter is that there are different levels and there's different products that actually make sense. So if a salesperson is good and they have a product that actually makes sense, I will actually consider that. But in my head, when people think CRM too, and again, and part of the reason why we're talking about Pipeliner, me personally, I've been through the process. I've looked at different CRM systems. Mm-hmm. At the very high end, we're looking at tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars a year. Mm-hmm. I can tell you for this same team that I have in place right now, Pipeliner is not even a couple hundred. Mm-hmm. So in terms of the actual software that actually is in place right now with Pipeliner, it's very affordable. Mm-hmm. You can have the exact same, or not exact same, every product is unique, but the exact same product category, huge difference. Same thing with cars too. I don't really have money for a car or anything like that. I can't really afford a new car. But if your car breaks down, you have to find a way to get to work. Mm-hmm. You will find money to get a hoopty to get you to work. Okay? So last thing, we'll do one other scenario. I'm sorry, I know I said that I said that we would keep it short, but I did want to pack this with a couple different scenarios. So let's go ahead and go with the car appointment. I want to get someone back in the lot.
Okay, so like I came in to look at cars, and you want me to come back.
You filled something online, or you bought a car in the past, and I want you to come into my store.
Oh, okay. So I haven't been in recently.
No. So let's go ahead and we'll go. Well, pretty much the actual talk track is gonna be pretty similar.
Postponement.
Yeah, you can throw at me whatever you want. You want to do postponement? That's perfectly fine. All right. Say, hey, this is Stan. I'm calling from
Stan.
Yeah, well, and now I'm going to give a shout out. I have a friend. His name is Stan Scher. He owns a company called Dealer E-Training. He helps, and he's not sponsored. I might send him a bill later. But he does training for different auto dealers. So when I think car sales and stuff like that, in terms of top of mind and being expert in your field, I think Stan, believe it or not.
Stan the car man.
Stan the car man. Yep. So, hey, this is Stan. I'm calling from Stan Honda. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, real quick, reason for the call here is I see you went online a while back and you actually pulled a price for one of our new Honda Pilots, and actually I have a couple of different models on the lot. I'd like to get you in and I'd like to see if you can maybe test drive one of our models and see if maybe we can answer some questions that you might have about that.
No, I was just kind of browsing stuff online. I am not interested in buying anytime soon, really.
I got you. So for right now, you're just kind of just gathering information.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, I can tell you actually, for myself, before I'd worked for the dealer, I did exactly what you did. I went online, I looked at a couple different options, I looked at a couple different cars and stuff like that. And then what actually happened for me is I ended up spending 1 hour, 2 hours at the dealer just getting questions answered that I couldn't really find online because there's just so much information out there. What I can tell you is that I can actually answer a lot of your questions a lot quicker than that. And because we have a very, very good dealer here, we have a very knowledgeable staff. And like I said, whenever the time's right, I just want to get you the information you need and get you the best possible price. So that way, when the time is right, you can make the best informed decision. When would be a good time? Maybe Saturday morning, see if we can get you in for a test drive.
No, like I said, I really, things are tight right now, and I'm not looking to buy a car.
I gotcha. And like I said, I want to be your car guy whenever the time's right. So the main issue, what you're saying right now, is basically you're just not buying. You don't want to buy a car right now, or you don't have the money for it.
Well, I mean, one kind of leads to the other. I don't need to spend money on something that I don't need at the moment. So, it's kind of good to gather a little bit of information, but I don't need to spend a Saturday morning doing something that I don't need right now.
I gotcha. Now, do you currently have a car payment?
I do not.
Okay. How old's the car that you're driving?
It's a 2001.
It's a 2001. Okay. And how many miles to the gallon are you getting on that?
It's probably pretty bad, to be honest with you. Okay.
Well, I can tell you this. Let's just go ahead and do this. Why don't you come in this Saturday morning? If money is really is one of the main concern, or actual affordability, I also have my finance guy available. He can kind of talk about some of the different programs we have in place. We do have some very good deals on trade-ins too, where I think you'll be able to maximize the amount of money you can get back on that 2001 Ford Explorer. And get you in possibly a...
I never told you it was a Ford Explorer.
Well, in another...
Now you're a mind reader?
In another podcast, I did mention that the best salespeople are professional stalkers.
Yeah.
Or maybe I didn't say that, but yeah, another person had also said that. So, in terms of that, I want to ask some questions. As long as I have you on the phone, and maybe I want to see... So maybe if you say...
Well, so here's some things that I thought were interesting. You, in all of these scenarios... You don't, you talk for a long spurt. You get it all out. You don't give me a chance to tell you no until you tell me why you're calling. It's a long initial thing. And then the other thing was, for this car scenario, you started out, energetic and a little more aggressive. And with each hesitation, you kind of slowed down, got down to my level, took the pressure off at each step so that I would keep talking to you instead of feeling like you're not hearing me, I don't want this, and my wall didn't grow. Instead, I just was like, well, I can talk to you about what my objections are, what my concerns are.
Yeah, and in sales, there's a very powerful phrase you can do is basically say, that's not a problem. So you say, look, I don't really have the money for that right now. Hey, that's not a problem. That's great to say, or that can come across in terms of tonality. Say, hey, look, I don't really have a budget or anything like that, and that's why I want to ask some maybe follow-up questions. An ideal scenario, best scenario, when that is you currently do have a payment and stuff like that. So if I can get you in a brand new vehicle and keep your payment the same, if not lower, and then I'm going to get your interest that way. gonna get your interest that way. And a lot of times, car dealers will actually miss that. They'll go ahead and try to set a point. And the fact of the matter is, you're looking now, so that means that somewhere in your head, you thought that your vehicle's fed up. So another thing that actually could have done, and I'm not in vehicle sales. Probably the best scenario would be like, okay, hey, and what exactly brought you to our website?
My car broke down.
Okay, great. Then we need to get you on the lot.
Yeah.
So that really would be the best case scenario. But I wanted to get some objections.
And I also liked that you said, when I did it and I went in and it was like almost 2 hours on the lot, and you were kind of like you already combated that in that. I can answer your questions a lot quicker. I understand you're collecting information. Let me give you the information, the specific information. Let me actually save you time in essence, by coming here, driving it, see if you like it, answer your questions, and be done with it.
The best possible price. And all that good stuff. So that pretty much that we're going to go ahead and wrap things up a little bit. One thing to consider too, whenever we run these scenarios and whenever we do something, I'm just pretty much spitballing this. Mm-hmm. We kind of have a rough idea, but whenever you're actually selling, for example, and I don't want to necessarily go into my company's product and services right away. I want to have it to be fairly unique because, again, I work for a logistics company, so my actual conversations are very different than what your conversations are. The underlying objections are always going to be the same. You want to practice this a lot. You really want to internalize it. You're going to anticipate them to say, look, I'm not interested. Look, I don't have time. Call me in 6 months.
Well, and practice with real people. Like, it's, right? I mean, practice behind the scenes, but, like, practice actually doing it. The only way you're going to get better at those live calls is doing them. So it's okay to not be perfect and learn from each one.
Absolutely, and there's a
mirror is not going to teach you.
No, it does help in terms of smiling and dialing the mirror, but it doesn't help you in terms of getting better. You have to get frequent before you get good. Grant Cardone said that. So you really need to maximize the number of attempts and stuff like that.
Is that one of the quotes you looked up today?
I already knew that one. I had that one.
Did
off
you
the
write
top
it down
of my
for
head.
me?
I already wrote that one down.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So. And we could talk about that too in terms of hyper-awareness of being obsessed. There's so much that you can actually talk about sales. There's so much you can talk about marketing.
There's so much that you can talk about sales.
There's so much that you could talk about marketing.
I could.
We can pretty much go on and on. But again, we had a lot of requests for different scenarios and stuff like that, and cold calling and setting appointments. So we did want to run through those scenarios. We are going to try to hit on that in another future podcast. If you have a specific product, or you have a specific service, or you have a specific objection that you keep running into, and what you've tried and maybe what's not working, we do have some unique ways you might be able to get around that. And in every
so if you have those, tweet us at pushpullsales or email us at pushpullsales@gmail.com, and that way we can kind of cater these to some specific examples, because right now we're just kind of grabbing things out of thin air, coming up with industries, and it's always, it's more helpful to you guys, and you're not the only one in your shoes. If you're running into an objection time and time again, chances are other people are running into that as well.
Absolutely. So really quick, very, very quick recap. You want to aim high. You want to be very, very positive. You want to anticipate the objection. You want to anticipate having to make a couple different attempts. Mm-hmm. Be organized in your follow-up. Confirm the appointment. And you want to have multiple ways to tackle the same problem. So if someone says no need, no money, you should have 2 or 3 different ways that you can pull in your pocket, because you might have to say the exact same. You might have to pull the exact same reason. They might tell you the same reason. Hey, I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. You might have to go through.
Right, you might have to have a couple different ways to tackle the same objection.
It's a lot like wrestling or jiu-jitsu. You're rolling around and you kind of have a whole different bag of tricks basically to come up with the same conclusion. So, anyways, wanted to thank you all for listening.
And thank you to bensound.com for our intro and outro music. Tune in next time. We'll be happy to tackle another topic. And like we said, if you have any questions or feedback, or stuff you want to hear us talk about, head to pushpullsales.com, tweet us at pushpullsales, or email us pushpullsales@gmail.com, and go check out Pipeliner CRM, pushpullsales.com/pipeliner.
Lastly, if you're not subscribing, go ahead and click that. Is an actual subscribe button?
Subscribe on iTunes. And by the time this podcast rolls out, we should be on Stitcher as well.
Ooh, very good. All right. See ya.
See ya.